who lives in a pineapple under the... Wait a minute, I'm gonna call... Hold on, it's the lawyer. Wait a minute, give me a second. Wait, we're getting sued. Paramount? Wait, for the 5 seconds I sing it? What, $10 million? Nah, dude, just tell them to take my firstborn. Yeah, no, do that instead. No, I can always just make another one. Go with that. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, today's all about Spongeboy me Bob. Now, May 1st is a pretty special day. It's the day that I was born. And frankly, I figured for my birthday, I could kick back, relax after a long, hard day of work, pour out a nice, hot, fresh cup of G Fuel, and just watch me some SpongeBob SquarePants fan-made movies. Now, SpongeBob SquarePants Movie Rehydrated is a several year-long project. For 2 years, a dedicated group of animators were sitting down actually animating piece by piece, brick by brick, a SpongeBob movie, and also getting a bunch of people to voice act. It was a huge project, a massive labor of love. No money was being made, okay? A lot of fair use was being tapped into, and in a lot of cases, some could consider this to be a pretty wild parody, if you will, okay? It was a fan-made project. Back in the day when Halo 3 was a thing and people would make like Arby and the Chief, okay? You'd have some red versus blue, some Halo machinima. Remember how many times Microsoft sued down under the Halo name? Nothing, okay? Not even when shit got raunchy, Not even then. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems as though that Paramount could not handle SpongeBob being taken in any vein, really, and decided to actually copyright strike, take down during the live premiere of the SpongeBob fan movie. Remember, it was 2 years in the making. They had 2 years to go fucking Nintendo cease and desist. You're not allowed to make it. But no, they waited the day of to take this beautiful piece of shit down. Of course, the video contains content from Paramount Pictures, who has blocked it on copyright grounds. The SpongeBob SquarePants Movie Rehydrated, literally as it premiered. Now, to understand, this is a pretty shitty thing to have done to a bunch of people that were really passionate about the situation, to the point where it outraged so hard that they made hashtag justice for SpongeBob. Truly, SpongeBob was wronged. Now, I find this a little bit hypocritical because Paramount Pictures, also just Viacom in general, has licenses to the Star Trek franchise. And you know how many Star Trek fan movies exist? Okay, and I'm not a Star Trek fan. I'm not a Trekkie by any stretch of the imagination, okay? But there are a lot of Star Trek fan movies. One of them being Star Trek Horizons. For those of you who haven't seen this movie, it's a fan-made production for people who love Star Trek. It's even wilder that this production went out and got kickstarted. They made $22,000. They actually made money off of this thing to fund their project. And I'm not here to call them out on it to get their video removed by any chance. I'm just stating that for Viacom, it seems like Star Trek, no, that's fine. Fans are totally cool for that. For SpongeBob, get the fuck up out of here. What are you doing? Trying to show your love for the thing? Get out of here. Now, of course, with SpongeBob, this was actually a reanimation, and it was in memory of the series creator, Stefan Hillenburg, who actually passed away. So yes, literally you're taking down a shot-for-shot, brick-by-brick remake by fans, okay? Fully fan animated, fully fan voice acted, not a dime made on the production, in memoriam of the series creator. A lot of people would be honored that their franchise is so massive that fans go out of their way to do stuff like this, okay? If somebody ever did this for something that I made, if the community ever did that for something I made, I'd truly be honored and very humbled. But for someone like Viacom, for someone like Paramount, they look at this project for 2 years. They could have shut it down at any moment. And they decided to shut it down literally the day that it launched. Now, again, I must reiterate, this isn't some abuse of copyright, if you will. Obviously, SpongeBob SquarePants as an IP is owned by Paramount Pictures and Viacom, but nobody can say that this is an incredibly shitty thing to have done to the fan base. And it's one of those reasons where every time this kind of happens, I always wonder, can copyright law finally be re-looked into? Because I feel like the way copyrights are handled are so archaic and old and never account for new technologies or anything of that nature. Yes, I know, full fact, before anybody wants to debate, I know Paramount and Viacom were probably probably well within their legal right to do this. And even if they weren't, the amount of lawyers that these guys have is absolutely impossible to go up against, okay? Especially for people who didn't even have a dime to rub together to produce this kind of stuff. It was all just made from the hard work and labor of talented animators and voice actors and editors and people that just wanted to remake brick by brick one of the movies that they loved. That's pretty much the general gist of it. There's no way for these people to combat the massive legal teams of Viacom or Paramount or really any entity involved. But again, it is very hypocritical that they would just shut this down, especially on the day of release, when they had ample opportunity to take it down anywhere within the 2-year time frame. And it's also just really hypocritical that other IPs that they have created, like Star Trek, are totally allowed to be tapped into by the fans for the right reasons. You know, obviously fans want to keep these IPs alive. They want to share their experiences and they want to push these experiences further. Star Trek was so good, people made feature-length movies. Same thing with SpongeBob, okay? Except in SpongeBob's case, not allowed, SpongeBob, me boy. Okay, you get taken down by that good old fucking copyright Godsmack. Now, of course, Newgrounds.com, for some of you who are getting whiplash from the nostalgia hearing that, yes, Newgrounds.com has decided to take on the absolute goatseed delivering lawyers from Paramount to the point where they're actually hosting the first part of this movie directly on their own website. So again, I don't know what risk they're putting themselves into it, but these are a couple stills from the SpongeBob movie. So obviously you can see, yes, they are bringing the SpongeBob IP into question, but they do actually have their own little animation style that they're bringing. Like, you got a little bit of a South Park style going on over here. You've got different styles, different animations, all brought into the entire mix. Again, Paramount, before you copyright strike me, I am using this just to share. I am using this within fair use. Please do not send the ninjas after me, okay? Please don't behead me just for talking about something that I actually am passionate about. I wanted to see this. And literally to see it being taken down live was an absolute... I didn't even animate this, but I felt the kick in the balls. Absolutely. Now, because of the animation style that I showed you, the final point is really talking about what aspect of fair use that really assists the entire team that built this project away from the Paramount legal team is actually the concept of transformative. In this case, because of a lot of actual animation, a lot of in-house animation done from scratch on this entire thing, a lot of transformative additions to the entire project, it may fall under transformative works, okay, where there was just a whole amount of new animation, new voice acting brought into the entire situation. So again, transformative uses are those that add something new with a further purpose or different character and do not substitute the original use of the work. I'm sure people were not going to watch this over the original production made by Paramount, nor could this actually substitute and satiate the change from the original work, okay? So again, that could be argued in a court of law. But I don't actually think this is going to go that far. I don't think the actual, fan-made productions are going to be putting their foot down and actually challenge them legally, because it's just a lot of money and that's a lot of stress to put on when you're going up against a big company. Honestly, the best they can hope is a court of public opinion thing where Paramount Pictures gets pressured hard enough to realize, yeah, maybe we're actually just wrong, and maybe we'll take the L and we'll actually copyright block this entire production. But look, I'm not holding my fucking breath, okay? At the end of the day, when these big companies get involved and these big studio bigwigs get this hard, this much of a boner against projects like this, it's just a bad situation for everybody around. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was generally the justice for SpongeBob right there. I saw a live copyright being taken down, and I saw an amazing piece of work done by animators over the course of years destroyed. You know, it hurts me as much as looking at a Nintendo project, a fan-made project, made by absolute amazing talented individuals, just shut down by Nintendo out of nowhere. Just cease and desisted, gone from nothing. And a lot of people that would defend the company in this case, instead of bootlicking the company, understand how archaic and old these copyright laws are, and understand that over time they should be changed just to account for newer technologies and just, again, to take into account for real transformative works like this. That said, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.